here at the Turning Point Rape Crisis Center. So today we have an amazing guest. This is Stephanie, our sane nurse, head sane nurse in charge here at the Turning Point, and she's going to be talking to us today about what to do if you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted. So we're going to get started with a PowerPoint as we usually do, and then I'll let her take it away. So let's get started. Okay, so this is our presentation. It takes unity. It's a bystander's guide on being empowered and educated, because once we're educated about the problem, we can be the change to fix it and support survivors along the way. At the Turning Point, we have a 24-hour crisis hotline, 1-800-886-7273, that you can call at any time, holiday, rain, shine, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., with an advocate that can answer any questions you have revolving sexual violence. At the Turning Point, we offer free counseling for survivors and their friends and family, and we also provide advocacy, which we're going to be talking about today, which is where we have advocates go into the hospital and support the sane nurse and the survivor while they have their sane exam, which is a sexual assault nurse examination. And then lastly is this, education, where we get to enhance your knowledge and teach you all of these things and empower you in this knowledge so that you can empower others and pass on the education so that we can stop the problem of sexual violence. So our mission is to highlight the impact of sexual violence on individuals and our community through education programs that foster hope, encourage change, and prevent sexual violence. Join us in the fight against sexual violence. The Turning Point is committed to reducing the prevalence of sexual violence in our community. We firmly believe that for this change to occur, each person has a responsibility and must do their part to prevent sexual violence. So, what to do if you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted. Now, take it away.
So if you're wanting to report your sexual assault, then you would call the police first. You can either do that from home, you can call us and we can be there with you, or you can go to the hospital and they can meet you there. If you don't want to report and you're 18 and over, that is okay too. We can be there for you for that as well. We have a clinic here at the Turning Point called Courtney Safe Place, and we can do the forensic exam here in the clinic. And by forensic exam, which is the same as a sane exam, that means that we're going to check you out physically to make sure that you're okay. We can also provide you with medications for prophylactically for STIs that possibly you could have contracted, and to prevent pregnancy as well. And then we also collect evidence for law enforcement, which could be clothing, it can be swabs, I guess blood and urine as well. If you think you possibly could have been it could have been a drug facilitated assault. And we provide you with clothing. We get the clothes from donations or from, who's that?
Hope Store. Not Hope Store. It's
Beloved.
Beloved, yes.
They're
Beloved.
So great. They give us really nice goodie bags for the survivors. So we don't just let you walk out of here in a gown or anything. We give you clothes. And we don't always collect your clothes. It just depends depends on what happened during the assault. And all exams have a sane nurse there and also an advocate to be there for you.
Yeah, and so we just wanted to be able to have this conversation and be able to spread awareness, because a lot of people don't know what to do if someone they know or themselves have been affected by sexual violence. And here in Texas, 2 out of 5 women and 1 out of 5 men will experience rape here in Texas. And while that number is astounding and astronomically huge, we have to have these conversations so that we can have the forensic evidence piece to support that survivor if they decide to press charges, or even just to be protected in with the prophylactic treatment and getting involved with counseling and things like that. So one thing we wanted to know is, let's say that you were sexually assaulted and you've already showered, you've already changed your clothes, you can still have a sane exam, and just bring the clothes with you that you were wearing when you were sexually assaulted.
In a paper bag, if possible.
Yes. And if you think that you were drugged, how many hours can go by where we can?
You can collect, or we can collect up to 72 hours It's best if we collect right away. Within 24 hours, it's best to collect the blood and the urine. If it's been past 24 hours, we usually only collect the urine because the drug can last in your urine for up to 72 hours. It metabolizes really fast in the blood, but research studies show that up to 24 hours is a good time frame to collect blood and urine.
Okay. And then how long does a survivor have from the time that they were sexually assaulted to get a SANE exam?
You have 120 hours, which is 5 days.
Perfect. And then when a survivor decides to have a SANE exam, what are some of the pros and cons to having a SANE exam at the hospital versus at our clinic in Courtney Safe Place? Will they still have an advocate?
Yes, you still have an advocate. As far as the SANE exam goes, everything is still the same. You just don't have to tell your story several times to a triage nurse, the check-in desk, a doctor, all of those kinds of things. We will also provide you with follow-up care so you can see a doctor afterwards. We have tons of referrals of places where you can go. But everything is still pretty much the same. It's just more private here at the clinic. You don't have to sit in the lobby. You don't have to long wait time. We usually can set up a time to meet you here at the clinic, which is really convenient for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially the patient.
Yeah. Our survivors have said a lot of the times that coming to our clinic, they feel more safe, they feel more comfortable, and it's more of a loving environment.
Yes.
And we try and make the survivors feel as comfortable as possible, giving them snacks. We have a lot faster of a response. We can, we come right to the clinic and we know where the snacks are. We know where the water is. We can get it to you really fast. And also,
and you don't have to wait to be discharged.
Yeah.
We can give you your medications and send you on home after that.
Yeah, because that's the part with going to the actual hospital is, like, let's say that I'm on call to be an advocate and Stephanie is on call to be a SANE nurse. We would drive to the hospital and we find your room, and while we're there for the SANE exam portion, you're still in the hospital. So you still have to get discharged and all of that. Versus if you come to Courtney Safe Place, then we can just, after the SANE exam is done, then you can just leave and go on with your day. And so another thing that we wanted to talk about with SANE exams and all of that is kind of the process of having a SANE exam, because sometimes in the media it can be portrayed as something dreary and sad. We try and make the experience, while it's right after a trauma, as comfortable as possible, because we're there to support you. If you want us to be silent the whole time, we'll be silent. If you want to listen to Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande, we'll make it happen. And we just want survivors to know that we are 110% there to be an advocate and a support during this time. And that, as you see Stephanie's beautiful face, we really, like, our SANE nurses are rock stars on advocating for the survivor and being there every single step of the way. And so when a survivor first comes in for the SANE exam, what's the first thing that you would say to them, or what's the first part of the SANE exam?
First, we would say we're sorry that this happened to you. And the first part, usually we just go over demographics. We introduce ourselves, of course. If you're thirsty or hungry, then we can take swabs of your mouth right away so that you can have something to eat or drink. We make sure that you're comfortable first and foremost. But we just ask a lot of questions in the beginning and kind of ask what happened, which helps guide our exam, so we'll know where we need to look, what pictures we need to take, what swabs we need to make sure we collect for evidence to catch DNA. And then after we talk about everything that happened, then we have you get undressed into a gown and collect your clothing if possible, depending on the timing. And then we will do a head-to-toe exam to make sure that you don't have any injuries that need medical attention. And we will probably take, if there's any injuries, we take photographs and measure. And then, of course, we do the genitalia exam. That's the very last part. And the advocate is there with you at the head of the bed, holding your hand if needed. Like Danielle said, you can listen to music, watch YouTube, whatever you need to do. We can just talk to you to distract you.
Yeah, we'll breathe with you.
Yeah, whatever makes you comfortable. And then that's the last part.
Yeah, and then after that, we talk about resources and who do you have to go home to? Is it safe to go home?
Yes.
If it's not safe to go home, we find resources in different shelters. We also get plugged in if somebody is like, I think I really need counseling. Because not always is a survivor right after ready for counseling. Sometimes a month passes or years pass and they want counseling. So that's why we have that crisis number to get involved with counseling. But if a survivor is at the hospital and is like, yeah, I know that I'm going to need something to talk through this, and we take down their information and be able to pass it on to our case manager to get them involved with counseling immediately. And yeah, I'm trying to make sure that we covered everything. I think so. But we also have, whenever we have police come, if somebody first comes to Courtney State Place and they haven't had, like, called the police first, we can help talk to police to get the scene exam
We'll be there with you to support you.
And we have legal advocates who can go to the station with you so that you feel supported and comfortable. Because a lot of times it's hard for survivors, which is like predominantly female victims and predominantly male perpetrators. And that's not to say that we don't have female perpetrators and male victims. It definitely does happen. Like I said, 1 out of 5 men, so that's 20% of men in Texas. But a lot of our survivors sometimes feel uncomfortable going by themselves and they haven't yet told their family or friends. So that's where we step in and we're here to support survivors and anything. So are there any final things you'd like to say?
Yeah, before your discharge is when we will give you your medications and make sure you have something to eat and support you. We're not ever going to rush you out of here. If you need to talk, you need to cry, anything, we're here for you. And if you want us to help you talk with the police, like Danielle was saying, a lot of times it's female victims and it's a male officer, and you may feel uncomfortable, and we're here to be there for you to go through that whole process. And we have a legal advocate that can also assist you throughout the rest of your investigation.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So if ever you have any questions, if we didn't answer one of your particular questions, you can always call our crisis line that has an advocate who will have the training and the answers at any time to be able to get you connected, get you resources, etc. So we are just here and we support you. And so thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us. The SANE nurses are really the superheroes of this organization, and we love any opportunity we can to highlight them and all that they do. And so I hope that you enjoyed this. If you like this video and you had gained a lot of knowledge from this, please like it and share it so that other people will have this knowledge, because with 40% of women and 20% of men experiencing this crime, we want to make sure that this knowledge is easily accessible. So thank you so much for tuning in to our live. I hope to see you next time. And yeah, any final words?
Thank you. Be safe.
Be safe. Bye.